scary father. So he was not the drunk scary father at the annual family pig roasts. That honor belonged to my uncle Helmut. I know Helmut. I do come from a long line of pig roasters, but I will say that tradition stopped with me. My father was also not the obvious scary father. He never threw hands. He never used words. He just had the face, the eyes, the look. I know some of you know that look, and you might even give that look. That is all I needed to stay in line. I could figure out his moods, and I knew at a very young age that I couldn't bring anything home that might cause disruption, discontent, or discord, which basically meant living as a smiling, agreeable unicorn. And we all know that's not even a fucking real thing. So I became a good girl, a nice girl, a helpful girl. But it also meant that I had to become a master class level liar, a mistruth teller, a manipulator of words, all to survive my family. So this is what I'm talking about. I could not wait to get my driver's license and access the family vehicle. My mother drove, but only if the final destination was an emergency department. And my brother's 1968 green Camaro with black and white racing stripes, that was not an option for me. So it was me and Max negotiating the use of the Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. The Cutlass was the only thing that made my father seem American. That was his effort to be a good American. But there was nothing except the car that made this German immigrant man stars and stripes. Not the beer he drank, the cold cuts he consumed, the borscht he ate every day, his love of the polka, and his pathological need for order and precision. It all screamed German. So I know what is required of me when I get behind the wheel, right? No shenanigans. 9 and 3, laser focus. But I'm 16 years old. I am filled with shenanigans. I would get off of my shift at the Mr. Donut, not Dunkin', but Mr. It was the lesser donut in the greater Milwaukee area in the 1970s. So I would get off of shift and I'd get in the car and open all the windows, crank the radio until it crackled. This was my attempt to be cool, but there was nothing ever cool about this my whole life. But I tried. But I also reeked of grease, a good grease, but nevertheless grease. So one night I get in the car and Black Water by the Doobie Brothers comes on. I start singing really loud, right? Oh, black water, keep on rolling. Some of you know that song. I am gone. And I'm almost home. I'm driving up the alley to access the garage, because where my parents lived, we had alleys and garages. I had to pull up on an angle, reverse back to drive in straight. But I am so lost in the music, singing, thinking I'm just so fucking cool. And I forget that I have a relationship with the gas pedal. And I proceed to slam into the garage. Yes. So I turn off the radio. I get out and check the Cutlass because this was my father's baby. The car is fine. I am so relieved. But the garage is not fine. The door does not open. I quickly get back in the car and park in front of the house, and I say nothing to no one. Why wake anyone because of such a minor situation? Plus, my skill set in deceit comes in handy. I have to plot and think, like, what am I going to say the next day? My brother has to go to work, which I forgot. The door doesn't open. He comes in. He tells our father. They both head out to the crime scene, and I follow in silence with a face full of curiosity. Yes, I do. And I'm looking, and who joins us but our next door neighbor, Bob Pesic, a City of Milwaukee police officer. He tells my father, Max, I heard a huge boom at around midnight, and I think somebody was trying to break into your garage to steal your lawnmower. Apparently, there had been a rash of Toro thefts in the neighborhood. And from my side eye, I see my father furrowed but nodding in agreement. I am safe. But then I see my brother. He's not convinced. He knows. He knows that I know that he knows. And I'm panicked. What is he going to say? Is he going to challenge Officer Pesic and throw me under the bus, incriminate me? Or will he keep my secret? And if he does, what will my penance be to keep our father's wrath at bay? So many questions. I will say the garage door was quickly fixed, and my father seemed really satisfied with the lawnmower theft story. We never spoke of it because my family never spoke of anything, so not surprising. And my brother, he never said a fucking word about that garage door. Our father passed in 2018 at the ripe age of 93, and I used to think, did Max know, not just about the garage, but all the other tales I spun through the years, but rather that his only daughter was never meant to live as a smiling, agreeable unicorn, and amen to that. Thank you.
Let's give it up for Mary Hoefler!